Hi, welcome to ID Talk once again. Today we're here with Rui Quinhones once again. Also, it's our guest for the second time. Now we're talking about some other issues different than the first we had the opportunity to talk about. Rui, welcome, and thank you.
Thank you once again.
Uh, so, as always, you can leave your questions on the chat box. Please leave them and we can answer them at the end of this talk. And so we can start. Let me introduce you this subject like this. So, social isolation is something that today everyone knows what it feels like. We've been through it for some months. And as far as I'm concerned, Cycling Without Age started to fight social isolation. So I would ask you to, for everybody who's listening, to understand better why we're talking about this subject and why we invited Cycling Without Age to approach it. Can you please explain us what is it about this project?
Okay, Cycling Without Age started at 2014 in Copenhagen in Denmark. It started in just as a simple act of generosity, a simple act of love. Just give a ride in a special bicycle to someone who lives alone or stay alone in a home care center. It started like that. The founder of Cycling Without Age, Oleg Hassel, decided to do this just because he felt it was
Right.
something important for that person in particular. After all these years, we are in 48 countries.
Wow.
With more than 5,000, not 500, 5,000 tree shows. It's the name that we use for our special bikes. And we travel around 1.5 million older people each year. This means that we develop partnership programs with home care centers and day centers also, where we make these rides of sometimes 45 minutes, 1 hour, or 1 hour and a half, for 1 or 2 times per week. So
every
this
day.
is something. Sorry?
Every day. You do it every day.
Sometimes it's every day in some care centers, and what is most likely is to do it 2 or 3 times a day, 2 or 3 times a week. Sorry, 2 or 3 times a week. I know most of our passengers would like to. That would be true, 2 or 3 times a day, but it's not possible. So it's a free movement. We have volunteers that drive the tree shores. They are prepared to drive the vehicle. They are prepared to take care and to talk with our users. And it's not a movement about bikes. Okay, it's a movement about people and giving to these people who usually live alone some of our time. Give them time to tell their stories, to show them the city, to re-engage them again with the community and with their friends, and to break this problem of the. It's a terrible problem about the isolation and this feeling of being lonely. So that's what we do. That's what we start to do it in Portugal since last year, with a great success. It's a wonderful experience. It's something absolutely unique.
And you're in Lisbon and also in Aveiro, is it?
Porto. At this moment, we are in Lisbon and in Porto. I can tell you now, I can tell you today that we're going to be on Cascais also. We close a deal with the Câmara Municipal of Cascais, and we're going to start a chapter there. And our goal in Portugal is to be present in the 10 in the 10 biggest cities in Portugal. That's what we want to do in the next 3 years. So this is what we do until last March 15, that we have to stop. We have to stop the travels, and we have to stop our mission.
But actually, I mean, I was asking you, the mission isn't exactly over because you continue to be with these people, with the seniors you already were in touch with. How did it change? So now you're not giving them rides, but you're still giving them the opportunity to talk and not feel as much isolated as, well, they would probably be if these activities didn't exist. So how are you adapting to this situation?
About 3 weeks ago, we made a huge conference call with the 45 countries, because we felt that the problem was growing. The most dangerous group in the COVID-19 pandemic are people above 65 years old. So and they were completely locked down at their homes. The problem is we start to see some very nasty effects in their mobility, in their cognitive
behavior.
Yes, and it was something that started to grow very fast. They were losing their capabilities for being locked down at home. Well, they don't see Netflix, as you can imagine. They don't spend their days in Facebook or Instagram or in TikTok, and they just see TV with this horrible news at all times. So we decided that we have to do something. So on that meeting, we were challenged to think what we can do in each of our countries. We are talking about very different realities. We are talking about Lisbon. We are talking about Sydney. We are talking about New York. We are talking about, well, countries and cities all around the world. In Lisbon, what we decided to do was something called balcony talks, as you mentioned, with a very great success. So what we do is we at this moment we are visiting the people that are living at their homes, and in some neighborhoods you have people living on the nearest floors of the ground, so first floor, second floor, and and we go with a psychologist with us, and we just talk with the people. We ask what they have been doing during the day. We ask them what are their favorite travels. We just spend half an hour talking with each of them, and we schedule for the next day or for the next 2 days at what time can we pass again. And it has been absolutely amazing. Because they love it. We are learning a lot with this experience. We have a partnership with some of the home centers and care centers. Sometimes we go there with the people that they already know from their past life, and so they have lots of things to ask. How are their friends? How the things are in the home center? When is the time that they can get back,
yeah.
etc. It's amazing. It has been a great joy for us doing this. We're going to start next week with another program, because there are people who live who are living in floors a little bit higher, the third, the fourth, and the fifth floors, and it's impossible to maintain a conversation and
So
to
far.
that distance. So we're going to start with something called cantigas à janela. Say it in
Singing
Portuguese.
on balconies.
Singing on the balcony. So we're going to start with two volunteers. One is driving the tree show. The other one is sitting on the tree show. When they arrive to the houses, to the balconies, both of them leave the tree show and they're going to sing. They're going to sing something. They're going to play something, and then they after 15 minutes they go to the tree show and they're going to visit another person. So this is how we decided to
approach this situation.
To change our normal activity. For us, it's very important not just doing this, but especially to create some awareness about this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is very important. Portugal, it's going to be the third oldest country in the world in 2025. It's something that is going to happen. So we have to take care a little bit. We have to make some changes about this problem of the loneliness and isolation, especially from the older people.
Yes, because they're not technology proficient, sorry, we are. So that company that you can deliver them at their home, it's really important. And let me ask you, how do you approach the fact that actually this social isolation is something that these people, or this group of people specifically, is living with since a very long time? So how do you explain this change? Like one day they stopped being able to get out on the streets and visiting their friends, and now they're locked down at home. So it's like taking some steps back. How do you approach this?
Yes, it's taking a huge steps back. I understand why we have to do it, but I cannot understand why we have to do it like this, because they are a very identified and specific group. So we have to understand that locking someone with 85 years old in their homes, where they don't have the enough ability to create solutions for entertainment, and just leave them there, and leave a bag of groceries at their door, knocking on the door, and then go away and leave them alone. It's something. I don't have the word. Well, I have the words in Portuguese, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, but it's not very human, is it?
Yes, it's not. It's not. It wasn't before. And it's not at this moment. So it's getting much worse. And we are very concerned about all this, because I don't understand why we can't do anything more about this.
Different.
Yes.
Do they even understand why this is happening? With all the talks and the conversations you've been able to have with this group of people, do they even understand what is going on and what's in stake?
Yes. Some of them, yes, they understand. Some of them understand but do not accept it, because when you have 85 years old and someone tell you, if you go to the street you can die, probably is going to ask you, I'm going to die in
anyway.
in 1 or 2 years, so I'm going out. I don't care about that. And there are also some of them do not understand, and that is the most difficult part. There's an old people that I know because I visit him during our mission. Well, is losing some of their memory abilities. So every day we have to tell them that it's not a punishment for him. He didn't do anything wrong, because every day he thinks that he has done something wrong in the day center. So because of that, they decided to lock him at home. So every day we have to explain them that it's not like that. It's a disease. It's a pandemic, and he has to stay at home. At that moment, he understands, but
The next
half
day,
half an hour later, he just live with that feeling that he must do something very bad, because someone kick him off of the day center and put him at home. So this is very difficult to face every day. So. And it's not just one case. There are several cases like this.
That is so heartbreaking, and it's really hard to understand that this is because of a pandemic, but actually this happens all year, and despite this pandemic, somehow in some ways. So how can we do different? How can we help these people, and how can we decrease these social isolations, especially for those who can't using technology be more present?
Yeah. Well, before your question, let me tell you that there are some technology solutions for people with this age. Okay. We don't have it usually, but there are some countries, there are some companies that are developing special devices for someone with 85 or 80 years old who doesn't have the same proficiency that we have. But we don't have it in a country like our country. There are lots of examples of that in Europe, especially in the north. In the countries in the north of Europe that are already developing devices specially adapted for older people, and with great success. So it's not the same. We don't have the same result if we grab an iPhone and gave to them. This wasn't developed for someone with 85 years old. Okay, sure. This was developed for someone who wants to be very efficient.
Not even the usual cell phones. I'm thinking about my grandparents. They have these phones with big numbers that they don't even know how to use it actually. So they have to be.
But I've already seen some devices that are. One of them, it's absolutely amazing because it looks like an old TV. You know, that old big boxes. Yes. That were the TVs of the 70s or the 80s, and they just have one button that you can turn it and change and change the screen and change the
changing channels
you want to do. Yes, very very simple to use, very useful, very friendly for them. So it is possible to do something like this. We have to put some money on top of the table and
invest in it.
Yes, we have to invest in it. Your question.
How can we help?
How can we help? First of all, we have to. All of us have heard during the last weeks that the world is going to change. Everything is going to change. Nothing's going to be like it was before. If that is going to happen about this reality, great. I'm very happy about that. If we're going to change and if we're going to take more attention to each other, give more importance to our relations, our relationships and things like that. So this is a great opportunity to understand who are the people with more needs and more fragiles in our
Society.
in our ecosystem.
Sure.
And the older people are one of that groups that we need to take care. It's not fair. It's a matter of justice. It's not fair to treat someone who has already give something of himself to others and lock him down in a home care or a care center. Our families must be structured to help our old families and be around, be near. It's a matter of mentality that we have to change. And then after that, there are several programs, especially programs who approach children with older people, that we can develop. There are several examples in the world that this is absolutely amazing for children and for older people. Their connection, their doing activities together. We have to stop to treat older people like people with a mental disease. Okay? In the next 20 years, probably I'm going to be there. And please do not put me doing some activities that it doesn't have to do nothing with my taste, with the things
And
that I
actually
like.
can diminish you and make you feel less than you are, because most of the times that's what those home cares may do, not intentionally, but somehow they do.
Yes. First of all, these people lose their importance in the society because they retired. So they don't have nothing to do during the day. And most important of that, their voice is not, it's not important anymore. Second, probably they have some difficulties with their health because it's normal.
Sure. Yeah.
Third, probably they already lose their wives or their husbands, someone who lives nearby. So this is something that it's going to happen with all of us. This is steps of our life that it's going to happen to all of us. So thinking in this stage of our life as something inevitable, that we cannot do anything, it's a huge mistake. Of course we can. There's lots of things that we can change, but we have to have the mentality to do it. Okay, it's the most important thing.
So we have to train it and stop thinking the example you gave about the children and their proximity, because actually it's funny without being funny at all. Some kids don't even know nowadays their grandparents, because the age is so there's I mean, their parents are being parents so late in their lives that the children don't have the opportunity to know their grandparents. So they don't even know what old people look like, and what they do and what they can learn from them. So I couldn't agree more with you. So
a few months ago, Vanessa, we have a demonstration for schools, and we took lots of kids riding on our three shores, and we asked them if they know what we are doing there. What was our mission? Well, they said lots of things. When we told them that it was for rides with their grandma or grandpa or grandma, most of them, the huge majority, said that, well, that's impossible. My grandma or my grandfather, they are not going to like making a ride. They live in a home center, and they are always watching the TV. So I don't think they are going to like this. This is the answer of children with 8, 10, 6, 7 years old. I remember that there was one girl who told me, wow, that would be great for my grandma. She loves to travel with us. That would be great. Can you go to my house to make a ride with her? It was one in 100 children that we we meet that in that morning.
Wow, it's mind blowing, actually. Yes. So we're just past 5 minutes from our time, as usual. So let me ask you if you want to deliver some message to whomever may be listening about how they can be a volunteer for Cycling Without Age, how can they help your project, and what are your needs right now?
Okay, let me just take Susan Pinker. Okay, so it's very easy to help Cycling Without Age. It calls Pedalar Sem Idade in Portuguese. You just have to go to the website. We have a great website, very well designed for our team. You have several ways of supporting us. The most important for us is to be a pilot, to be a volunteer, and to be involved in this experience. I'm sure that you're going to love the rides even more than the older people, because it's absolutely amazing to see their reactions, to hear their stories. You're going to ride with older people around the city, and they're going to explain you how the city were 50 years ago. And it's absolutely amazing. And it's after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rides, you're going to start to see the changes in their eyes and the changes in their faces. It's very, you can feel with this action, you can feel every day that you can change the life of someone, and you can give them joy, you can give them love, you can feel someone to be recognized and appreciate. So if you want to be a volunteer, this is, I think it's one of the best experience that you can have. I think we're going to have also in our website a new video from a lady who calls Susan Pinker. Susan Pinker has made a study in an Italian village that is the oldest village in the world. 95% of the people who live on that village, they lived until over 100 years.
Wow.
So see the video and see why they live so happily over 100 years. And you'll see that if we going to change something in this world because of this pandemic, you will see that all we have to change is the way as we connect with each other. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much, Rui. Yeah, it was an amazing conversation, this one especially. Not that the other wasn't, but it's something very different to approach on these talks. And as you said, we need to talk about people and understand people. And so, saying that, I won't take you more of your time. I will end this talk right now. So, thank you once again. Thank you, everyone who's watching. And we'll be back on Wednesday, actually, for this idea talk about customer experience challenging the automotive industry with Alexandre Vaz from Mercedes-Benz. See you then, and take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.